Thank you for coming back. Let me talk about something that is close to my heart and that not many people talk about yet. Many people face it, especially during Chinese New Year or a big festival or festivity. So my title is When a Chinese Malaysian Celebrates Chinese New Year Overseas. So the last few days we have been celebrating Chinese New Year. I am Chinese, a Malaysian Chinese, and now that I'm living in America, in Houston, I'm celebrating Chinese New Year overseas. Let me tell you the feeling of this experience. So, when a Chinese Malaysian ventures overseas, and Chinese New Year, the whole festival changes. It is not a Chinese New Year that changed, but in another place, it's different. It's celebrated in different way. It becomes quieter. There is not much happening. Your neighbors doesn't celebrate it. Your school doesn't celebrate it. Your office doesn't. So it becomes so much quieter than home. And it has to be more intentional for you to celebrate it. It has to be like, I'm going to celebrate it today because today is the New Year Eve and tomorrow is the first day. I'm taking an off day. It has to be so intentional. And sometimes it can happen and it might not happen, but it has to be so intentional. You take what you take, and sometimes you celebrate also in the weekend. And sometimes it feels a little off. It's a little strange. And many people, many Chinese ethnic that has gone overseas feel that ache in the heart, that loneliness. Back home, Chinese New Year is a season. It's celebrated for a month or even 2 months, and everybody, no matter whether you're Chinese, Malay, Indian, everybody in Malaysia celebrates Chinese New Year. You can hear it at the mall, anywhere that you're going. The music is blasted out loud, and you see the lion dance. Everywhere people are wearing red, the food, the culture is just so much of it, and it's loud and it's proud. But Malaysian Chinese, or even any Chinese that's living overseas, it becomes a choice. Whether you are a student studying in England, whether you're a student studying in Europe, in US, it becomes a necessary or intentional choice to celebrate it. And today I want to talk about what that feels like, the ache in your heart, the beauty and yet the confusion, and how we can still preserve our heritage even when the environment around us doesn't naturally hold it for us. This is a very hard conversation, but because so many people are experiencing it now with globalization and people moving away from their culture and having another culture and living in another culture. So let's dive deep into this. My name is Sue. I'm a Malaysian Chinese who have lived overseas for the past 25 years. And also our children know that they are Malaysian Chinese, but however, living abroad and celebrating Chinese New Year abroad makes them feel a little bit missing home, and yet have to make sure they try to follow the culture as much as they can. It's not that they have forgotten it, but they have to choose intentionally to celebrate. So let's take for example, it is actually a journey outward. When a Chinese Malaysian leaves home, we don't just cross the borders, we also cross cultures. We cross soundscapes, foodscapes, and emotional landscape. We come from a place where Chinese culture is woven into everyday life, Like when you go to school, when you speak to people, you use the same language, you read the same stories, you have the same reference and background. From the kopitiam, that is the cafe, the Starbucks at home is called kopitiam, to the pasar malam, where the night markets, from the lion dance at the mall to the aunties selling nian gao at the market, or even selling, like kueh kape, peanut cookie, that you cannot find here. You cannot find any of the aunties here. And suddenly, we land in a country where none of that exists. Suddenly, it all disappears, because you cross borders. All your culture, all your soundscape, foodscape, emotional landscape, your people, it suddenly become non-existent until we go looking for it. It is not that the new place is wrong. It's just unfamiliar, strange, and sometimes missing home can hit hard for certain people. And during Chinese New Year, that unfamiliarity becomes louder. And let's go to the next topic, the strangeness of Chinese New Year overseas. And when it's festival, it's just like how if you are an American or from England and you go to stay in Asia, you will miss Thanksgiving, you will miss the Christmas. It will never be the same. So let us talk a little bit of the strangeness of Chinese New Year overseas. The silence itself. Imagine back home, the Chinese New Year is loud. From a month ago, before the Chinese New Year, you can already hear music blasting loud, and it can be from the mall, from the market, anywhere you go. You can hear it on the radio, on the cassette, and everywhere. There is no decorations, no noise, and an empty living room. Back home, Chinese New Year is loud. Firecrackers, mahjong tiles, people are talking loudly. Some can be baking festival cookies, and kids will be running around because that will be a holiday and everybody will be at home. Relatives talking over each other, trying to share the tidbits of their life. Overseas, the silence is the first thing you notice. Nothing is happening. No neighbors blasting Chinese New Year song. No lion dance with the drum beat echoing through the mall. No smell of pineapple tarts in every home. And you realize the celebration doesn't surround you anymore, and you have to create it. In fact, a day or two before Chinese New Year, I even felt like I was aware, but felt like the festival creeped up to me, because without realizing it, it was Chinese New Year. It was the Chinese New Year Eve. And frankly, a day or two before, we were trying to go to the shops to buy the oranges, decoration that we need, and certain food that we use for our celebration, for our ancestors' prayers. So we had to go a day or two. In fact, if you're at home, you will never have to be reminded. It will never creep up to you. It will be so loud. You will never not realize it's there, So the food, let's talk about the food. In Malaysia, food is effortless. You want yisang, every restaurant has it. You want bakwa, which is the pork jerky, it is in every corner. Everybody is selling. You can smell it. The barbecue smell wafts up to your nose, tantalizing, and you would have eaten like a lot of it before Chinese New Year. You want mandarin oranges, they're stacked up like mountains in every shop, every market. Overseas, you search for these ingredients like you're on a treasure hunt. You have to go to this place to get this, go to that place to get that, and then that's only available in maybe, if you're lucky, 3 to 5 shops. So you learn how to substitute. You learn how to improvise. You call your mom for the recipe again, and somehow the taste becomes a bridge back home. You try to still have the celebration, even though it's a little different, it's a little improvised, and a little bit substituted. And the decorations. Back home, the whole country turns red. You're wearing red, everybody has red clothes, red hairpins, everything, like from the house decoration, curtains, everything turns red. Here, on the 1 or 2 days before, I have my red banner that we hang in our door, and for many, many years, even when I'm moving, I have brought that with me, and that is something that we hang up on our door, our front door, to remind us that today, the next few days, we are celebrating Chinese New Year. I talk to the kids about this. I tell them why it's important, the words on the red banner, why it's important. And sometimes, if you're the only person celebrating it, you have to tell your next generation, because the next generation would not have experienced the full-blown celebration just like you had it when you're little. And overseas, you might be the only one decorating your apartment building. Back in those days when I was in Norway, it was snowing, it was all white, and my house was the only one with a red color banner, with red decoration, and everything, was decorated to signify and symbolize Chinese New Year. That way we feel like we are celebrating just like everyone at home. And you put up a couple of lanterns, a pair of couplets, those are the poems at the door, maybe a small altar or a vase of Pusivilo. I try to do that every year, and I can buy that at Trader Joe's and also at Ranch 99. Every year I change out the Pusivilo and try to hang little lanterns or even some words of prosperity, just to bring in that Chinese New Year vibe, that 幸福, that new prosperity, auspicious feeling. It is not the same, but it's still yours, and you have to be the one that is taking a lot of effort, putting it out there. And the emotional layer. Chinese New Year overseas brings up a mix of emotions. The nostalgia, remembering how your grandparents or your parents celebrated. The longing, missing the noise, the chaos, the warmth, the food, and the guilt, wondering if you're doing enough to honor your culture. The guilt of not going home at that time, because actually you have no choice. It's still school day, it is still a work day, so even if you go back, it will be during the summer holiday, but never during Chinese New Year. And for many years, I have not gone back for Chinese New Year to celebrate this holiday with my family. And the pride, realizing you're carrying traditions across continents, the pride and why you're proud of your heritage and why you have to celebrate it. The loneliness, because diaspora celebrations are often smaller, it must happen. I definitely encourage you not to let it go and let it disappear. Try to have even in a small way. And gratitude for the pockets of community you do find, for the few Malaysian Chinese friends that you have, and Singapore friends, and to be able to still come together. I still remember, like, we have a group of friends in the international school. It's about 10 or 12 of us, and we celebrate every year, coming together, celebrating this festival together, and being able to just bring one dish of Chinese New Year to symbolize the celebration, the community, and the culture and the heritage. And here's the truth. When you live abroad, the environment doesn't carry your culture for you. You have to carry your culture. You become the culture keeper, the storyteller, the one who explains not just what we do, but why we do it, the reason behind, why it is important, and why Chinese New Year feels different. Let's have a cultural analysis. Malaysia is a multicultural ecosystem. Chinese culture is visible, celebrated, and normalized. Even though we have Indians and Malay, everybody celebrates each other festival. And we have the holidays, we have the, it's okay to get an off day or even an off week for this celebration. You don't have to search for it. It's part of the national rhythm. And I'm very grateful the Malaysian celebrates a multicultural celebration. The Diaspora life removes sensory memory. The sound, the smell, the colors, they're not naturally present. You have to recreate them from scratch. So like every year, I try to at least do a steamboat, which is the hot pot, and sit in the table during New Year Eve, which is such a big occasion. We surround with our family, and to be able to eat together and telling them why it is so important. Even though if you are busy the whole year, this is the day that you need to be home and be with your family. And even though it is just your immediate family, you have to sit down, catch up, share stories, and bring together the community and the culture and the heritage. And the tradition becomes intentional. So back home you celebrate because everyone celebrates. Overseas you celebrate because you choose to celebrate. And that choice makes the tradition more personal. Identity becomes layered. You're not just Chinese, you're not just Malaysian, you're not just an immigrant, you're all of it at once. All of it. You're Chinese, Malaysian, immigrant, and you celebrate everything your own, and also you include others, other culture, you absorb the ones that is around you, and yet preserving your roots. And how to preserve heritage abroad. This is important for the people who have moved overseas. Build micro rituals at home. Even small acts matter. Clean the house before Chinese New Year. I sometimes put around little feng shui items to remind us of home, whether it's a lantern, some pussy willow with some decoration, some words that say food, auspicious, luck, put it around your house. And even if it's an apartment, put it around the apartment. Put up 1 or 2 decorations, light incense or candles that reminds you of home. Carry on the ritual that is very important and true to your heart. Play the old Chinese New Year song your parents played. One of the things we do is to watch Chun Wan. Chun Wan is one of the concerts that is internationally, globally watched by many Chinese that have gone overseas, and the Diaspora, still people watch that show from all over the world. And cook symbolic dishes. Even if ingredients are limited, make longevity noodles, tang yuan, dumplings, your family's signature dish. Remember one of those 2 or 2 dishes so that it still brings connection to home. For example, I started a Meals with Su, a channel. If you go like it. And Meals with Su is a channel that actually shares the food and the culture and why we eat certain food in my country. I try to preserve the culture by having that channel and becoming a storyteller of my heritage, of my own food, cuisine, So if I don't do it, who else will? The meaning matters more than perfection. Sometimes I don't do it right because I have to substitute certain dishes. I have to take some of the videos by myself, so it's not perfect. But yet, I like to share how to make longevity noodles, how to make dumplings, how to make this special dish, the reunion dinner steamboat, so that everyone in the family can crowd around and be together. The meaning is in reunion, family togetherness, and the culture and the roots. And create your own Diaspora Yisang. Use local ingredients, use what you can find. The symbolism, the prosperity, unity, abundance stays the same. For many years, when we celebrated with our school moms, the international Singaporean Malaysian school moms, every year they make this beautiful Yisang to the zodiac, the animal zodiac of the year. So if it's the pig year, we will do like a pig symbol, and if it's a snake, so they were very, very creative. Even when you're overseas, you create your own. Host a small gathering, invite friends, share stories, explain traditions, culture, grows when it's shared. So yesterday, even though now my children have moved on to live in their own apartment, myself and the husband went to Sambal Chef, a Malaysian restaurant, to eat rojak, to eat char kway teow, and to also eat chicken rice. And if you have not celebrated, maybe go to Sambal Chef, go to Papa Rich, go to Fat. I'm so grateful there are a few Malaysian restaurant where you can get your favorite dish in Houston. And stay connected to home. Video call your family during reunion dinner, join the laughter even through a screen. And that was what made me smile the other day when I called my mom. She told me all that they were doing, and I called my sister and saw all my nephew and nieces in the car driving for a Chinese New Year celebration. And it feels so much like going home. Support local Asian communities, visit the Asian markets, attend cultural events, buy from Diaspora businesses, keeping traditions alive. Document your ritual, film them, write about them, share them. You're not just preserving culture for yourself, but for your heritage and for all the people who are within this community. You're passing it on. So if you really like to see how to cook certain dishes and cuisine of Malaysian Chinese, watch Meals with Su. Meals with Su, I will put the link below. Like, subscribe, and share it to our friends so that we feel connected. We preserve the heritage, and we intentionally choose to preserve our heritage because this is our roots. And not only that, we need to pass it on. We need to pass it on to our next generation, our children, the younger ones. And Chinese New Year overseas may feel quieter, but it also becomes more intentional, more personal, and more yours. Try to create a space, have decoration at home, go and do the gatherings, go and eat the food that fills your soul with happiness. Go to the temple, light some incense, and preserve it. Preserve it because it's yours. Home isn't just a place, it's a practice, it's a culture. And every small act, every dish, every decoration, every memory is a way of saying, I remember where I come from, and I carry it with me wherever I go. In order for it not to disappear, preserve the heritage, continue to live it, enjoy it, and share it, and pass it on. So with this is a longer video. I hope you resonate with it, and it doesn't have to be Malaysian Chinese. If you're coming from another culture, this is how you can celebrate your own culture, preserve the roots, and share it with everyone. For now, guys, if you liked this video, it comes from my heart. Like, share, and subscribe, and send it to the world. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.